Welcome to tonight's webinar. We are going to be talking about saving money for your summer vacation. We have about 9 weeks until summer starts, and now is a better time than ever to start thinking and preparing with the way this economy is. Not everybody just has money at any given point to just up and go wherever they want. So we have to take the time to plan it, think about it, set budgets, so on and so forth. Thank you guys that are here right now. And if you're listening on the replay, I hope this brings some value to you. So, in case you don't know, I am cam model and phone sex operative Hazley Hayes. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about getting into phone sex operating, content creating, and camming yourself. And yeah, so let's get into it. For starters, I think we should all stop and be honest with ourselves and really see where our money is. So, a lot of people want to go on vacation, but should you actually be planning for a vacation? I feel like is the first thing. So, are you debt free? Are you not struggling to pay your bills week after week? If that's you, then you might want to stop and think about creating a savings. And if you don't have any sort of a savings, then you should really stop and take the time to figure out in your budget how you can cut back, where you can cut back, and how you can implement some sort of savings. So I'm just going to be honest. That's not my specialty. I'm here today to be vulnerable with you guys. Okay, I'm recording it. So if you can't stay the whole time, but dang. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on YouTube. Okay, so if you are somebody like me that doesn't have a savings account, I think that should be more where your mindset is than trying to get money on vacation. I think kind of a broke person's mindset would be like, oh, well, I'm just going to put it on the credit card and pay it back later. But we really want to have our trip planned and paid before we go, because what happens if you get in that mindset? Because I'm guilty of it. Putting the trip on there, it's like, okay, whatever, I'll just pay on it monthly. But then it's like, well, damn, when you come back, you're adding more expenses and you're already like doing okay, but it's like if you tackle on more expensive, life's just going to get a little bit harder. So you end up struggling or you end up not paying things and then your credit gets bad and so on and so forth. So if that's you, I would really try to just evaluate your own life and put some sort of a budget together. Now, if you're on track and you're just like, I'm good, I'm financially responsible, I got a savings, like I'm ready to start planning for my dream vacation, but you just need to make the extra money for it, then I would say you can move on to your next step would be to come up with where you want to go and a budget for where you're going, because everywhere is different. If you're staying locally, that's probably going to be cheaper than if you're going out of the country. Sorry. I'm gonna read all the chats in a second when I get to a stopping point. But it's gonna be different than if you're going out of the country. So you need to think about how much your trip's gonna cost. But I'll give you all an example. I talked to like just people who are just regular workers and not really entrepreneurs, and they'll tell me like how they're planning their trip to Disney World or whatever with their kids, but they're just when I'm like, well, how much does this cost? They only tell me the price of like the thing that they're doing. So like the trip to Disney World, but not factoring like airfare, your cars, your Ubers, your Door Dashes, or how you're eating while you're out there, just extra spending money. Like when you go to plan, a financially responsible person that's planning for their vacation, when you go to that part, you need to really write down every single thing for your vacation that you could possibly need. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of backtrack and talk about different side hustles and also savings tips. Either way, either side could apply it to what they're trying to do. Okay, so for starters, you want to create a budget, and some people may not know how to do that. So I'm going to talk about some tips that I've tried, and then I want to tell y'all some things that I want to implement as well, for savings. Anyways, like I said, with your vacation or, just saving to get the money that you need to catch up, you want to start with everything. You need a budget that includes every little thing. So if you're behind, you want to sit and take the time and write down, like, where's all your debt at? Like, and just see what these numbers look like. How much is it going to take to fix your credit? What is all your bills that you have to pay, extra expenses, and then what does now this number kind of scared me, just someone who doesn't really have a savings plan. They said in your savings, like a good savings has 3 to 6 months of your whole like living expenses. So if you don't have that, that's what they're saying to save for. Me personally, if I had, just 2 months, worth of living expenses, I would feel like accomplished just because I don't have anything at the moment. So, um, okay. Doo-doo. So once you write everything down and you have it all on paper or all typed up, you want to see and be honest with yourself. Like, this is where you like, this is not the time to be lying to yourself. You really want to be honest. Like, how long is it going to take you to get that? And so you divide that by the time that you actually have. So for instance, if you need, say, $10,000, you need to divide it in 12. If you want to get it paid off in a year, divided by 12 months so you can see what that would look like. And so that would probably be something like $800 a month. Is that realistic for you, or will you have to like spread it out longer? Maybe you want to get your debt paid off within 2 years, so you add more time, but that you're actively working and are being honest with yourself to get it paid off. Now, how are you going to do that? Because some people are like, well, I'm working. Well, how is this going to happen? I'm going to skip to some things you can implement and then some ones I want to try to implement. So, for starters, I just found out, and maybe y'all already know, but about cashback apps. So there's things like Fetch or Receipt Pal or Rakuten where you literally can get money back or points that add into money, um, just for doing your everyday shopping. So when you're spending money going to fill your car gas tank up, or when you're doing your grocery shopping or certain bills, they have these cashback apps that you can just implement and know it's not like a super amount of money at once, but it adds up. And then you can use that money to put towards your savings. Like, don't spend that money that you get with that. Like, put that up. Sorry, let me turn this down. Put that to the side. Cancel something that I talk about in class is to cancel your any apps that you aren't using. So if you only watch Hulu once a month or once every other weekend, it's something that you can record because you watch Netflix more. I mean, something that you can cut off because you watch Netflix more, then try cutting that off and then go through your phone and see what apps that you're paying for that you could have purchased a year or so ago that you're really not using, but it's still coming out of your bank account. So cancel any apps or subscriptions to anything. So at this point, you should have written down all of all of your expenses, everything you're paying for. That includes these apps. So if you can cut back, do that. That might save you $30 a month. I was watching some YouTube videos on this, and some of them were saying some crazy things like unplug, well, I guess it's not crazy, but like unplug appliances and all that. Me personally, I'm not trying to, they were saying try to cut back on your, maybe switch your phone plans or stuff. I'm happy with my phone. I'm not trying to look for a cheaper one or whatever. That's just me. But I did see that in a YouTube video I wanted to tell y'all about. Um, so what can you cut back on? I think this is another thing. Some people have shopping problems of things that they really don't need to buy. Me personally, I don't really shop outside of what I need. I don't do that. So that wouldn't apply to me. But if that applies to you, maybe reconsider how much you're spending on shopping or going out to party, buying bottles at the club. I don't know what people do, but think about cutting back. Stop going out as much if you need to. And then I feel like a lot of times people, when they want to save for something, they're like, okay, well, yeah, I'll stop drinking so much or I'll stop going out. But what happens is I fall victim to this as well. Hold on one second. Oh, dang, y'all didn't tell me I was muted. How long was I muted? What's the last thing you guys heard?
You were muted for a while. I thought you were doing something. I think
No, I was
we heard,
talking.
the last thing we heard was "hold on," if I recall correctly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because the noise, it just really distracted me. So I was trying to mute everybody and I must have muted myself. Oh my gosh. So did y'all hear me talking about cashback apps?
No, I want to say
Did
no.
y'all hear me talking about spending and cutting back your own apps? Maybe switching your
Yeah.
phone plan?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So then, did y'all hear me talking about groceries? No.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you said something about groceries, unless I'm bugging.
Okay. About planning and saving for the grocery store and spending $200 a week. Y'all heard that?
No, nope, 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 nope.
No. Okay. So I think where I cut off is where I said that you could save on your apps just by cutting back the apps that you may have on your phone or subscriptions, and to plan out everything so you know exactly what you got going on. I talked about cashback apps. So we're always spending money. I want to start incorporating these cashback apps and see how much money that can get me. And then I also talked about not going out and just spending money. So what are you spending money on that you really don't need to be spending? Is it shopping? Is it going out with your friends? And how can you cut back on that? Then I was saying that um, I'll spend a lot of money on going out to eat. And so for me to save money, it would be cheaper to go to the grocery store once a week. I can buy all my groceries for about $200 for the entire week for me and my kid and have full meals for us to eat. But I will, if I eat out like I've been doing, I'll spend $18 on breakfast, going to Burger King for breakfast, and then going to Subway for lunch and spending another 25, and then Raising Canes or something for dinner and spending another 25 to 30. And that's $100 just in like one day on food. That's expensive. But if I go grocery shopping, then I'm cutting back. But the thing is, that money, so like I've been eating out for a while. So the money that I would save to actually save it. I think a lot of people fall victim into being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna cut back. I'm not gonna drink so much, or I'm not gonna go out with my friends. I usually go out once a week. I'm gonna go out only twice this month. And so the other two times, if I would go out and I would spend 150, not $150 to have fun with my friends, actually take that money, pretend you're going out, but save it and put it in a savings and don't spend it. I don't know if y'all were on hold where I talked about how much you should have for a savings. They say you should have 3 to 6 months savings. I would be happy with just having extra 2 months worth of savings. That means like all of your bills. So if you need to make 3,000 a month, just to pay all of your bills. Well, to have that for 2 months in your savings account, so have at least 6,000 in your savings. So that's ways you could get more money. Uh, Groceries. Um, I'm gonna look into this, and maybe if anyone knows, they can speak on it. I keep having to mute you, Lavender. Uh, how do I do this? There we go. Okay. Oh, I wanted to look into this, but they have checking accounts that earn you interest. Maybe you guys already know about that, but mine that I have is not earning me any sort of interest. So they have savings accounts that do that. So if you do have a savings, it should be one, but also you can look into bank accounts that do that. And they said a lot of credit unions do. So I don't know if y'all have credit unions, but I'm definitely going to look into that. So here's the thing. A lot of people, including myself, have suffered from what is called present bias. And so, can everybody hear me? Lavender was
Yes.
having problems with Skype.
Yes.
When okay, cool. Maybe if someone knows something about Skype, they can go help Lavender because she was having problems with me earlier when I tried to do a consultation. She can't hear me, but we can hear her. So I don't know what it is on her end or what she has to fix. or if anyone could explain something to her, because I don't really know what to tell her. Um, okay, but I'm glad you guys can hear me. So, myself, and maybe some of you, suffer from what they call present bias. That's pretty much when you think of saving, right? But you have other things that are more like that need to get done now. You tend to put a focus on like what needs to be done now instead of looking at the overall bigger picture of when you do save, like you're going to be so much more comfortable. But you just fall victim to like, gotta get this done now. Nope, this is next, this is next. So even with me and my bills, sometimes I feel I feel like, okay, I'm like, next bill, okay, this is paid. What's the next bill? Get that paid. And you just keep being like, here's the next thing. What's the next thing that needs to be paid for? And then keep telling yourself that you can't save when that's not really true. You can figure out a way to save something. So if you want to save a big number like $10,000, you don't want to overwhelm yourself with that being like, whoa, how the fuck am I going to get $10,000 and like stress yourself out? Instead, thinking about kind of like what I said earlier, how long is it going to take you to accomplish getting that $10,000? And then if you break it down to even smaller, what does that look like? What does that look for like for you every week to save or every day? So if you want to save $10,000, say over the time frame of a year, that would be about $27 a day. So for instance, most of us in here are adult workers and we work on these platforms and stuff. If our daily goals are 100, we can make our daily goals to 127 and just push a little bit harder to get that extra $27 to put that up. So even if we don't do that 7 days a week, that's still better than probably what most of us are doing right now, which is nothing. Correct me if I'm wrong, because if most of you guys in here are savers, please give me some tips. Um, okay, so when saving, we all are, maybe it's just me or some of us, tend to focus on like how much we need to save and like what we're saving for. But I think it's more important to think about why we're wanting to save. So I'll say this. I get the question a lot, like what keeps me going and what keeps me motivated and how am I doing all these things and how do I just do this stuff every day and oh my gosh, do I not get burnt out and all these questions. The thing is, when I have low moments, like if I need a day, like the other day, I just needed a day. It was too much. I just needed a day. So I literally had to just stop. But like I can just snap back into it. It's not going to take me longer than maybe like 12 hours to be in my feelings or whatever the case is and get out of that. And the reason is because I always think of how lucky I am. I don't always make what I want to make, but I do feel lucky in the sense that I don't have to go clock in at a 9 to 5 job. I don't have to stand on my feet for 10 to 12 hours a day anymore at Whataburger to simply make the same money that I'm making doing this. So when I do feel burnt out or when it is a slow day or whatever the case is, I'm feeling like a little down or emotional about it. I just think like, wow, like I don't have to go back and do that. And then I also think like I'm doing this because me and my kid have to eat. I don't have friends or family or people to really fall back on. Like, don't get me wrong, if time just got really, really hard, I know too many people to literally leave me homeless. But at the end of the day, I don't have cushion. Some people will have their parents or whatever. I don't have these things. So I think to myself, am I going to sit here and complain or say I'm burnt out or feeling stressed or it's a slow day and I'm in my feelings? I don't have time for that because my kids still got to eat. I still got to pay my bills and I still don't have nobody to fall back on. And I still do not want to go work a job. So maybe you guys will like, oh, I'll just go get a job if this doesn't work. Cool. Like nothing's wrong with that. I don't want to. I don't want to go clock in with somebody. I don't want someone to tell me when I can eat. I've worked 6 years by myself without having someone tell me when I can put food in my mouth. That would irritate me. That I just love food so much. I want to eat when I want to eat. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and I really don't want people telling me what to do. So when I have a day where I'm like, I want to press the snooze button, or I want to sleep longer, I want to go drop, because I get up every day, go drop my kid off. I could easily come back home and just get in the bed and sleep. But I'm like, ugh, no, let me go do some admin tasks. Let me go do some more of this because that's how bad I don't want to go get a job. Like I'm just don't. So that's my why. And that's really important to me because it's just like, I'm all my kid has. So you guys, whether you're just saving for your vacation or you're saving for your savings or even just getting up every day and doing this work, what is your why? It is. I felt it. But it's true. Like, don't get me wrong. When I was managing at Whataburger, like I do miss like dropping the fries in the grease or like flipping the burgers and talking to the employees. Like I do kind of miss that, but I don't miss the standing on my feet. Like I don't want to go back to that. I don't miss all the other stuff that came along with it, but I only have ever worked jobs that I like, so I did enjoy working at Whataburger. um But yeah, so figure out your why, and I think that will motivate you to work, to save, or to save for your vacation. I feel like all of us in here are in one of those categories. But the how and the what is important. You need to know how to save, and you need to know what you're saving for, and come up with a plan and all that. But I think the why is just more important than both of those. It hits us emotionally, and we're humans and we go off our emotions, and when we have that emotional connection, that could just be so much stronger than the logistics of how to do the things. Okay. Make sure I said everything. Okay, so I'm just gonna say some things off the top of my head that are side hustles in case you guys don't know. Or before we get to this, if you want to save some extra money, whether you do work a job or you're doing this, how many extra side hours do you have that you're not doing anything? Because we can all say we don't have time to go do something else to make some more money, or we don't have time, but I think that we can squeeze in 5 hours or an extra 10 hours every week. Hold on, let me close my blinds. It's getting dark. But I think we could all figure out a way to have those extra hours in our schedule. So now once you do have those hours, even if it's just like 5, I'm gonna give you some vanilla and not safe for work things. Hold on. All right. So when I first got fired from Whataburger, one thing that I was doing was donating my plasma, and they'll give you money for it. So you can get like $100 a week just going to sit there. Yes, it's a kind of a weird process. They stick this needle in your arm and you pump it. But for those, like, I really just needed the money. And I knew when Whataburger fired me, I felt great. Like, HR just don't understand what a relief they put on me because I felt instantly free and I had no clue what the fuck I was going to do to make money. And I came back home to a Virgo that is just like, what the hell are you gonna do? So I'm just like, you know what, I'm not getting a job. Let me find some little things I could do. So doing plasma was one. And like I said, you can make like an extra $100 a week. Um, Next, doing gig jobs like DoorDash. I did DoorDash and Postmates as well, but they have like Insta work, which I think is cool because they didn't have that during the time I was doing that. But Insta work or variable, I forgot the other one. But this is where you can just go on these apps and they'll pay you just to go work these jobs for a day. So like if you need to make extra money, usually they pay between like 75 and 250 from what I've noticed. But you can just choose to go work at, like my sister, she went and did it one time. And she went and worked at the downtown aquarium we have here in Houston for like 4 hours. And she was just, I think, like the party host or something there. And she got paid 150 for going to do that. So she didn't have to work there full time. She just went there for the day, got the money. My ex, he did variable and they had them working in like warehouses. And so he got like paid 250 for the day and for 8 hours, and you could just go do stuff like that. So for some people, they need to do it. For some people, we'll just dive more into other areas of adult work. But there is little outside things you can do. There's also this site, and I don't know if it still exists. I would like to look it up. But if it does, it was called justanotherlabrat.com. So back when I was like 20, I used to do these studies where you go, they're pharmaceutical studies. And so you go stay with them for the weekend and they give you whatever like the medicine is. So I would be mindful of the ones I chose. So I did like birth control studies, or I did like niacin, if y'all know what that is, medicine one time. But anyways, they give you the medicine or whatever the case is, and then they just draw your blood a bunch of times. But you leave and you make like $800 or 1,000 for the weekend. So back when I was 20, I was like, all I gotta do is and they feed you. I was like, all I gotta do is go stay here. You just can't leave. Stay here. They tell you what to eat, when to go to sleep, and all these things. It's kind of like being in jail, but you leave with a big check. 20-year-old me just love that. So I used to do those. That's something that if anyone's interested in. On the other side of things, I also have done just regular research studies. So if you search in your area, I'm sure you can find it. But there's just regular research studies where they just ask your opinion. Like, for instance, there's one in Houston called Opinions Unlimited. And oh, dang, I need to look them up and make sure they still exist because I haven't done it in a while. But I did it one time. I know I did it twice. One time they came to me and they would just ask me questions about banks and credit cards and my opinion of it, and I got paid $300. The next time it was like $80, and you went and sat with them for like 2 hours, and you were on a table with other people, and I forgot what the topic was, but they were just asking us our opinions on it, and then you left with like an $80 check. So some people know about these things, and some people's like, oh, whoa, I never heard of that. So if that's you, those are some vanilla things you can do. Before we switch to the not safe for work things, I'd like to give y'all one that I have on my Etsy store because I actually made a PDF of even more things you can do in the vanilla world, just to make some extra income. But one of the things on there is you can sell your poop. Now I'm not talking about to these perverts and the guys we talk to. I'm talking about like vanilla, safe for work, like you can sell your poop. There's and again, look in your area. There's different health centers that look to buying like human fecal matter. Nothing sexual. This isn't sex work. So I can get you the names to some ones in the United States. Outside of that, I really don't know. But you can might be looking to that. Oh, also your hair. Oh, I said that in my Etsy one too. Dang, it's on there. Best hair. I can get the name for you guys, but yeah, you can just go sell your hair um to the company online. The name's on my PDF. I just can't think of it off the top of my head at the moment. But think of doing things. Yeah. I like to think of things outside the box just because if I ever did have to go do something, I would go back to doing these things before I would get a job. But that's just me. Okay, so now in Spicy World. And I'm sure most of you guys that are here already know these things, but matter of fact, since I'm talking to y'all, if you need the extra money and you're just like, what I'm doing is just not cutting it in this world, one thing you can't tell me is if you put in a full, like, hard, low work, like a full 40 hours, you can make at least $1,000 a week. So I'm in a situation where I can't really work how I need to work or how I would like to work or how I should be working and staying structured and consistent, right? So I'm not able to be as consistent as I should be, right? So I can't always make that. It's a hit or miss. This week has been really great, and I will say this. I got the soaps from Tender, and I think that's been helping because money has been just flowing to me and it's been feeling great. I've had been having like $500 days, and this like mattress actress money, that's one thing, but I'm talking about like adult work. So you can make this shit happen. I'm doing it with limited resources. So if you can put in 30 to 40 structured hours, there's really no reason you shouldn't be having $1,000 weeks. So that's $200 a day for at least 5 days. And then if you don't make it, then work the other 2 days so you can make sure that you do make the money. So whatever you're doing, you can always think to add something else. A lot of the people that come to me, excuse me, maybe they're doing phone sex, but they're just on one platform. So in my head, I would think, I don't know why, I guess it doesn't pop up, but add another one, add another site. So if one's not working for you, if you're on Night Flirt and it's a hit or miss for you, add on Talk to Me. Add on something else so you can compensate. Or I think a really good one, because all of us make content, but all our content isn't everywhere. So if you've only been putting your content on like Night Flirt and mini vids, and you're not making the money that you want to make, or you just want to make extra money, add another platform and go schedule out those videos and put them on I Want Clips, AP Clips, Fansly, Loyal Fans, OnlyFans, Clips for Sale. You know, the list goes on and on. It's so many sites. So that's one way that would be easier than being on cam or the phone lines, is to have a lot of content. So you're able just to start a new site and schedule all your content. And then as you're making more money, make sure that you incorporate the new site. So for instance, me, um, I like to have I haven't been able to be consistent the past like 2 weeks with this, but I was on a good roll, and that's how I know this works. I put out content every single day on minivids, loyal fans, clips for sale, and I Want Clips. When you do that, it will sell. So I wasn't always on all those sites. I was really just had all my stuff on minivids and was halfway putting stuff on I Want Clips. But when I finally caught up with everything and I took all the videos that were on my minivids and I put them on Loyal Fans and I put them on um, Clips for Sale and I Want Clips and make sure that everything was everywhere, I noticed my sales increased because those platforms will all put you on the front page the moment you post, and your sales are just going up if you're posting daily. Now, I want to stop right here because to some people that may sound overwhelming, and I want to tell you why it's not overwhelming. For starters, just because you have content posting for you daily, I think most of us here know it, But just because you have content doesn't mean you're actually doing this every single day. You schedule it out so that you don't have to be doing it every day. And then if you're one of those people that's like, well, Paisley, I can't make that much content. That shouldn't really be an excuse either, because if you can manage to make 2 to 3 videos a week, you can extract the audio, you can censor them out, you can make compilations. Now that's double, triple, quadruple the amount of content. And you take that and you schedule it on all of your platforms every day, and therefore something's going out, you will see your sales increase. When I'm doing that, my money is flowing. And I did that February and most of March, and I was having my biggest checks on um what's the one that pays you out? Clips or Sell once a month. Oh, okay. That's maybe where I cut off at. So I was saying, don't, okay, I didn't go too far into it. I was mostly just saying my big mistake was kind of like having a broke mindset. I mean, it was cool at the time because I got to go somewhere, but what happens is I put it on the credit card and then don't pay the credit card, and then credit gets messed up. Because what happens is you're like, oh yeah, fuck it, I'm just gonna charge it to the card, and you're like, yeah, I can just make these monthly payments, not realizing you're adding more bills and more heartache when you get back from the trip, and then you always spend more than what you say you're gonna spend. So I think that was my point earlier, was to not do that, and that if you're saving, whether like for a trip, for example, to make sure that you cards I give you. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know about that. I also said that if anybody on here is financially responsible, y'all can please feel free to come up and give give any opinions, or if you're somebody that has a savings account and you, hell, even 5,000 in your savings account, you have that and you have suggestions, please let us know. I don't know if I finished with the $10,000 thing, but if you wanted to save $10,000 and you wanted to do it within a year, it's $800 a month. So $200 a week, or it was like $27 a day. And that if your daily goals for adult work was 100, then just increase it to 127 so that you can make that money to put back, but actually save it. Don't just make it and not save it. I can explain. I recently started. Yeah, come up, please. And then we can get back to talking about the clip sites. I think it would be good because I too need help. But don't forget to unmute yourself because I had myself muted earlier for a while.
Oh, now can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, but maybe let me take you off my car. So you're maybe that is better.
Mhm.
Okay. Yes. So I uh
You broke up.
how about now?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so one of the things that we talked about was like, making sure maximizing your money, like you were talking about making sure you have like a checkings and a savings account that are giving you interest. And she was telling me that a lot of times, like Wells Fargo or the banks that you have in person, usually have some of the worst rates as far as interest and suggested looking online. So that was one good tip from her. And then another was related to maximizing your credit cards. Now, like Paisley said, you don't want to go and like rack up credit card debt just buying what you want on the credit card thinking you can pay for it later. The way you want to use them is, like, for example, you have business expenses. Like, say you pay a subscription for a certain membership every month. That can go on the credit card. That's already, a bill that you're going to pay. So you pay that off every month anyway. You're building credit. And then if you select a card with good travel points, a lot of them have higher yearly rates, something around $100 to $200 at the most, not that much per year, that you pay to have the card. But the travel points and miles you can earn, so you might want to look at what airlines you like to fly with, and if they have a card, or check out, I think Chase Preferred has a one with good travel points. But if there are monthly expenses you're going to be paying regularly anyway, that's what you want to put on the card. And yeah, that's kind of what she laid down for me.
Yeah, thank you. We could always use some tips around here. I definitely don't want to make excuses anymore on why I can't save. And that's why, like, don't get me wrong, I want to go on a vacation and I want to do all these things as well, but I want to be smart too and have a savings, because this world is just getting bad. But okay, so we went into the vanilla side hustles and then back to this. Another thing besides just adding on, like if you're a phone sex operator, just adding on an extra site. Oh, content, that's where I was at. So yes, make sure you have content. No excuses on why you can't get that much content. No excuses as to why something can't come out every single day. Like, perfect example, Lynette did that and applied it, and Lynette did not want to make no content. Lynette did not want to do it. And when she did, it worked. It shows. And she's beginning good traction to her loyal fans. And it's just audio content, it's not even video. So the method works. Get it out there every day. Yes. That's another thing. We actually talked about that in class last night, and some cool things that you can sell on your minivid store. Like, you can create a love box. You can sell your panties. I talked about how I sell my panties in 5 different scents. So how many people on here sell their panties? So yeah, I talked about how I do 5 different scents, and they're like, "What is that, Paisley?" Like, 5 different scents. How do you come up with that? But I got golden nectar, backdoor scent, everyday wear, gem smell, and cum scent. And by saying that, that really, I think that will bring you sales. So if you have a guy that's already interested in buying panties, that will set you apart, because I don't hear any other girl saying that. So try that with your customer and see if that works. But you can have that on your minivid store. And also, like, ass pops. You could just take lollipops and swirl it around your little hole and sell them on minivids. So that's some cool things you can do there. Anyways, get the content out there every day. Now, when I first got into this and I was just doing cam, when I was like, I want to make some more money, that's when I added on phone sex. So if you guys are not doing PSO currently, I highly suggest that, especially if you don't have time, you can but you can possibly answer the call. You can just leave your ignore line on, and that's something. Extra $30 a day you get just from your ignore line, or $50 a day just from people calling your ignore line, will add up. And there's plenty of other avenues of adult work. It's like it's always something. There's a whole foot fetish model lane, there's a whole financial dom lane, there's if you want to get into like doing porn or boy girl content or collabs and stuff, there's just so many different things. You can do content, phone sex, camming. So consider adding a different one when your money's slow. Okay. So I wanted to bring this up, and then this is kind of my final part, but I created a Trova account, and I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but like I said, I saw an influencer, and the only reason why I didn't sign up for her trip is because like she's like really religious, and I was just like, I'll start my own with my YouTubers. So I need all of you guys. I sent the link in the Telegram group to go take the quick survey. It just asks you like, where would you want to go on vacation? How much would you have to spend? If I do it, I want to plan a trip to Puerto Rico. That's kind of where I want to go. So if anyone is interested, let me know. I would like to know if anybody is even interested in planning a trip and to go do the Trova survey. I'm not 100% sure that I'm even going to do it through them, but I can't do it unless I have at least 50 people to do the survey. So I know that won't be hard. I can get 50 people to do it. It's just at that point seeing who actually would want to go. Okay, so like I said, I do these webinars right before I launch the next course, and the next one is about getting this money in 8 weeks. Everyone that's enrolled in this next course, so what sets it apart from the other courses, is I want you guys to all make at least $5,000 before the end of the course. The other courses I've had, everyone makes their own budget because, I mean, ultimately it's up to you how much you want to make. But this go around, I want it to be more boot camp style. We'll be checking in daily. We'll be meeting twice a week. And still be doing study halls and shadow calls and all of that. But I'm going to stay on y'all's asses a lot more because, or whoever enrolls, because I want to see you guys make the money. So to make $5,000 in 8 weeks is $625 a week. And just my opinion, if you're not making $625 a week in adult work and you want to do it, you're doing, I'm trying to say you're doing something wrong, but there's a misunderstanding somewhere. So I would get on that, do more research, or consider joining the course so you can get on track to making your money. This go around, I have had a lot of people that have purchased my course before and join this, and I think the reason is for the accountability and the fact that we're about to make this money. Like, I want to stay on people to make sure they actually follow through with this one. I'll be having homework for you guys to do, and just to make sure that we stay on track. I know most people that is enrolled in this course wants to make 1,000 a week, so I feel like we can do that. But my goals is at least 625. So yeah, just want to say that out there. I'm going to drop this on YouTube. So if anyone is interested in getting registered for the course, just reach out to us on Instagram at Mattress Actress Academy. Any questions or final words from you guys that are here?
I was just gonna say, I filled out the survey and I would be so down for Puerto Rico.
Okay, good.
I selected like 9 countries. So I was like, oh yes, all of these sound good.
They have some really cool ones. They
Yeah.
have some places in the States too, but I feel like the New York one looked cool, but they have ones in like
Colorado or something.
yeah, I don't really want to go to the mountains.
I feel like beach.
Yeah, beach vibes will be good. But the Puerto Rico one looked really fun, and I haven't been to Puerto Rico, so that was cool. But thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate y'all's time. I'm sorry I started a little late, but thanks for staying the hour with me. I'll talk to y'all later.